Hello and welcome to the FADU Network News Review today, 10th of February 2020. My name is Amar Wali. The Gambia Revenue Authority today closed down a Belgium company, Semlex, and the interview we had with the Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo will come later on. But I will start with the papers. The Point newspaper is reporting that 6 from China under coronavirus observation. The Health Minister, Dr. Ahmed Lamin Samate, on Friday, 7 February, informed the National Assembly Select Committee on Health that 6 Gambian returnees from China were under observation for coronavirus. However, he added these people do not meet the World Health Organization suspected case definition. Dr. Samate, who was given update on the novel coronavirus before the legislators, said no suspected case has been reported in the Gambia. 3 Chinese nationals in the Upper River region traveled to China, but one came back well and is asked by the Chinese embassy to stay indoors under a strict surveillance in the Upper River region by the RHD. The 2 Gambian students returned and both under the close watch and in contact with the surveillance unit. 1 Chinese national suspected at Sahaba Medical Clinic and evacuated to MRC on arrival and on set. Now it has now been discharged because it does not satisfy the definition. That's what the Minister of Health and Social Welfare said. Couple arrested with cocaine. Operatives of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the Gambia, have arrested 2 suspects with cocaine. The principal suspect, Jonathan Okoye, a Nigerian national, was arrested together with his wife. The suspect, Jonathan Okoye, was arrested with 160 grams of cocaine. His wife, Chioma Okoye, is charged with conspiracy, and Barrow urged graduates to champion the peace and development. President Adama Barrow has called on the new graduates of the University of the Gambia to be catalysts of peace and development. He added that to be patriotic, one must have the spirit of nationalism and good citizenship, love and defend their country, sacrifice personal interests where necessary, and contribute to a greater good. The Gambian leader, who is also the Chancellor of the University of the Gambia, was speaking on Saturday during the 12th convocation ceremony, where over 800 students graduated in various disciplines ranging from bachelor's to master's degree, and the event was held in Q City. Banjul Mayor attend World Urban Forum. There's Mayor of Banjul, Rohey Malick Lowe, has participated in the 10th World Urban Forum in Abu Dhabi, in which she dilated on key issues including women empowerment. During the meeting, the Banjul Mayor was privileged to be panelist in 2 fundamental sessions, one being Women Assembly session. And that's all we have for you on the Point. The Foroyaa newspaper is reporting that Health Minister says Gambia is free from coronavirus. The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmadu Samate, has updated the National Assembly Select Committee on Health about the state of coronavirus pandemic of the country, saying the Gambia is free from the virus. So that's all we have for you on the Foroyaa newspaper. But we'll bring you a interview we had with the Commissioner General of the Gambia Revenue Authority. The Gambia Revenue Authority today shut down a Belgium company, Semlex, for non-payment of tax. But earlier on, I spoke to the Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo, and he shed light on the reasons why the company was shut down. Let's take a listen.
Is bigger than anybody, and any company, whether small or big, operating within this economy, you should respect the laws of the land. And as far as GRA is concerned, we are not sparing anybody. And for those who are there and not paying it, well, they will have their day.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. I mean, before you conclude, probably my deputy is here, and maybe he might want to say 1 or 2 things. Mr. Jallo, yes, sir, Jallo, and we have the head of corporate. Maybe you can have a word with them as well. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So you tell me your name and what is your role at the GRA?
Okay, I am Esa Jallo. I'm the Deputy Commissioner General and also the head of the tax department.
What effect does non-payment of tax have on Gambia Revenue Authority?
Well, I will dwell on this, but the CG definitely articulated this very well. This is a country that depends entirely on taxes. Whatever the tax revenues cannot provide, as far as the public finances are concerned, the government will resort to borrowing. And we all know that if government resorts to borrowing, that is a debt on all of us, all the citizens of this country, because it's a sovereign debt, and the country would be obliged to pay, and they would pay from taxes that they are going to mobilize from those who are operating in the country. Whether you are a taxpayer because you are paying tax from your employment income, or you are a taxpayer because you are paying tax, from your business income. So taxes are very important for every country, more so for a developing country like the Gambia, where we are not opportune enough to have natural resources. We don't have the gold, the diamond. We talk about the oil, but we are not yet at a level where we are seeing the oil revenues. So everything boils down to the taxes that are mobilized for the government to fund on. And also for the people to enjoy the kind of welfare they want to enjoy, because the roads, the schools, the health facilities, some of these things, they are very essential, particularly for the poor, because maybe the rich can afford to get out of the country and do certain things. But imagine those poor rural people who need these basic social facilities. They have no option but depending on what government is bringing to their doorsteps. So if the taxes are not mobilized, it means that the quality of life in this country is going to be very low.
Is it lack of understanding, or is deliberate that people don't want to pay tax?
Well, you see, the issue of tax, that is why there are different approaches. Because even from the literature, you realize that some will voluntarily come and do it. And for them, the tax administration owes it to them to facilitate their compliance, do everything possible to reduce the cost of compliance. And that is why, over the years, you see, GRA has entered into MOUs with almost all the banks in this country, so that you don't even need to come and have contact with anybody here, because every taxpayer would have an account. You just need to talk to your bank and they would pay on your behalf. That is all meant to make life easy for some of these people that are highly compliant. But for some, no amount of education, even as I'm talking to you, our team, should be on West Coast any moment from now. So we have done all kinds of campaigns, outreach programs, but for some, it's only through compulsion that they would pay. And that is why the law also gives the Commissioner General the powers to compel people to pay if they don't respond to our voluntary compliance, services that we are offering to make payment of taxes easy. So there is an element of force for those that do not voluntarily want to, discharge their obligations under the law.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
First time in the Gambia, your favorite GSM operator, Africell, is the first and only GSM operator to launch a brand new technology called the eSIM. The eSIM simply means you can use your phone without a SIM card. Do you have an iPhone 11, any of the iPhone X series, a Google Pixel 3, or any new phone that supports the e-technology? Visit any Africell customer care center. Activate your eSIM today. With your virtual Africell SIM, you can use more than one number without having a physical SIM card in your phone. Enjoy this brand new technology for the first time in the Gambia, brought to you by Africell. eSIM, your phone without a SIM card. For more information, please call 111. Where Africell goes, nobody dares to follow.
That was Esa Jallo there, the Deputy Commissioner General of the Gambia Revenue Authority. Now we'll bring an interview we had with the Commissioner General, Mr. Yankuba Dabo.
The Belgium company Semlex was closed down for non-payment of tax, and what must have triggered this closing down of this company?
Thank you very much, Omar, for coming over here to seek for clarifications on the issue of Seamless Company and GRA. To start with, Seamless Company has started operation in the Gambia for the last 1 to 2 years. And as you know, there are laid down procedures that every company has to follow before they can be established and start operation. And having respected all that, we allow them to operate for a period of time with the understanding that they told us that they are going to have SIC, which means Special Investment Certificate. We've given them 6 months on operation. We demanded for the SIC, but they could not produce it. They requested for an extension. GRA gave them an extension of another 3 months. Still, they could not produce it. We run into 1 year. We follow it. They still could not produce it. And then we asked them to do a self-assessment of their operation after 1 year. So do the submission, which we normally allow because the way the tax system is in the Gambia is based on self-assessment. You, the business owner, you assess yourself and submit, make a filing to us. At the end of the day, if we look at your submission and we are not satisfied with what you declare, we also have the right to send our tax auditors to your company, and they will do the auditing and then come out with something. So in this particular respect, we allowed them to do that. And now, after 1 year, we told them, they did the submission, we told them now, because you cannot produce the SIC over a period of 1 year, pay on what you have assessed yourself, and then we move on. But they still are asking for time. They came to my office 6 months ago and requested for an extension after the 1 year. And I said, no problem. I give them another extension. Now, after we follow all the protocols, everything, up to this period as we are speaking to you, they cannot produce SIC. So, and we send them a notice to say that is either you come and settle your taxes, or we will send you a temporal closure. That's what we did today.
So does this SIC exempt businesses from not paying tax?
This is not the case. SIC is normally, it is the responsibility of the JIPA. That's where everything starts. But SIC itself, there is a committee that is responsible for issuance of the SIC. And this committee consists of Minister of Finance, Minister of Trade, GRA, and other stakeholders that are. And there is a set down criteria that one company has to fulfill before you can be given an SIC. It doesn't mean that any business that comes to the country can just write and then you will be given SIC. That's not the case. And the company failure of not getting the SIC would mean that they have not fulfilled some of the conditions that are laid down for them to get the SIC. However, this is another area. The JIPA is responsible for that, for the conditions that one need to get to be qualified for SIC. All that we are asking is, get us the certificate. If you cannot produce us the SIC certificate, you will be forced to pay your taxes.
So which other, we understand that other big companies operating in the country also might face similar action in due course. Is that the case?
Thank you. I would not give you the names of the companies that are on the pipeline for similar action. But what I can say is almost all the companies that are in operation and individual businesses that are within the country, they are within our radar. Their names are with us. So if you are there, you know that you are not fulfilling your tax obligation. It's better you come out before you fall into the naming and shaming.
Many were surprised with the action. They said GRA is not courageous enough to close down such a company like Semlex.
Maybe those people, they underestimate the GRA, what we are doing. But for those of you who are following us, you remember in the past, we have garnished the accounts of NAWEC. We've gone to garnish in the account of Gamcel and Gamtel and many other big companies. We have gone to an extent where they could not operate unless they fulfill their tax obligation. So I don't think Semlex is bigger than NAWEC. I don't think Semlex is more important than Gamtel or Gamcel among other big companies. So probably those saying that they did not know how far we can go. It does not really matter how big you are. You have to respect the laws of this country. Once you are operating a business and you have a tax obligation to settle, we will not spare you.
So how long will this closure continue?
The closure will continue for the start for a minimum of 2 weeks or 3 weeks, 21 days. That is what the law allows us to go. However, I can tell you it may not go to that far. We are just telling them that you have to come and pay your tax. If you don't come, we'll come for you. So negotiation has happened. They came and approached us that they are now ready to pay, and we said no problem. They want to pay their taxes as even today, but it's just that it's a bit late. So we are expecting that first thing tomorrow morning, they will pay their tax liability, and once it's paid, I see this receipt, I will give a directive for them to be open.
Do you bear the consequences of revenue losses that they will face, and so many Gambians will be without proper documentation, ID cards, and most of the driving licenses are also getting expired?
Well, I know that some people may today or tomorrow we may go without getting their license, but there's a bigger picture more than that. The bigger picture is, what about if we are complacent of collecting these taxes and we sit down and allow people to operate in an economy without collecting the money? We go to a point where salaries cannot be paid. Which one is bigger? If we sit down, we are not doing what we are supposed to do, we will not be able to collect enough money for the state. And the consequences of that will be more dire than 1 or 2 days people without getting the ID card. And as I said, hopefully this will not go that far, because they should have not even allowed us to get to this level. After giving them operating for almost 2 years, they could not produce the SIC. They should be bold enough to come forward and settle their taxes, which they have done today. They came and they are ready to settle it tomorrow morning. So really, we will apologize for those who could not get it today, but I think there is a bigger picture, because the country is bigger than anybody, and any company, whether small or big, operating within this economy, you should respect the laws of the land. And as far as GRA is concerned, we are not sparing anybody. And for those who are there not paying it, well, they will have their day.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. I mean, before you conclude, probably my deputy is here, and maybe he might want to say one.
Welcome back. That was the Commissioner General of the Gambia Revenue Authority, Yankuba Darbode. With me, I have Coach Pasamba Jao, who is in the United States. Hello, Coach.
Hello, Omar.
Thank you so much for your time. What do you make of GRA's decision to close down Semlex?
I think it is a welcome move, Omar. We all know that our economy is a tax-based economy, and it is absolutely paramount and important that those who operate in that country, especially the businesses, are to pay taxes, because that is the money that the government is supposed to use and plow it back into the productive sectors of our economy to benefit our people. So it is a very much welcome move, and I hope that they will not just stop here, but to go after every institution and individual that owes the Gambian people taxes.
Are you surprised by this decision by GRA to close down a huge company like Semlex?
No, I'm not surprised. My concern, though, is whether the State House, the central government, has the political will to back off and allow the GRA to do its work. Because I think I've tried to follow the GRA for a while, and I've seen them go after people. In fact, I have a concern with allowing businesses to assess themselves. I think the GRA should find a better mechanism where they will be able to assess the revenue that are being generated by this company, so that they can be properly taxed. So I'm not surprised by it, but I'm just worried that the Barrow and his government may not have the political will to allow them to do the work that they're supposed to do.
What does this mean for GRA? Because it's an institution where most people kind of lose hope in them. But now taking a bold step to close down a company and telling them if you don't pay tax, you are not going to start operation?
Omar, it's a welcome move, and I think it's a big move for our country and one for the GRA. I think what this would do, at least it rekindles the hope that people always had or wanted to have for an institution like the GRA, because it's a very powerful and important institution. So maybe finally we are seeing institutions that are working for the government flexing their muscles and showing their independence so that they will be properly able to do their work. So it is a big move for the GRA, and I hope it's not just a one-off, but something that, like the director said, Mr. What's his name again?
Yankuba Dabo.
Mr. Dabo said that, what they will be, they have other names, they will be going after. And I hope they do, because it doesn't make sense. We saw what happened 2012, that commission that they established, where you have a company that owes the Gambia over $800 million. That's too much. I hope the GRA will continue this, because it is good for our country, and hopefully the taxes collected will also be put into where it is supposed to go and not be mismanaged.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Omar.
That's Coach Basamba Jao there. Well, viewers, that's all we have for you today. From me, Amar Wali, and my team, we thank you so much. Till tomorrow.